My name is Dennis Lightcraft. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Canadian Cattlemen's Association, and I want to welcome you to the Cow-Calf Farm and Ranch virtual tour. This 10-minute presentation will provide you an overview of Canadian farms and ranches that raise calves for beef production. Cattle production has been an essential part of our agriculture tradition for more than 300 years, and there are approximately 55,000 beef cattle farms and ranches across Canada. Thanks to our unique environment and ecosystems, our internationally recognized beef cattle genetics, and our long experience in beef cattle production, Canadian beef is among the very best in the world. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you find the information in this presentation valuable.
Every year, Canada has a winter season, and the snow and cold temperatures act as a natural barrier to disease. Our cooler weather allows the extensive utilization of Bos Taurus-type genetics, which are known to produce high-quality, tender beef on a consistent basis. Canadian farmers and their cattle play an important role in maintaining Canada's temperate grasslands. In addition to providing forage for livestock production, the grasslands also act as an important means to store carbon underground through their root systems. Cow-calf producers help to ensure that these lands are cared for through management best practices and our high standards for sustainability. In Canada, cattle are often raised on marginal lands that are not suitable for crop production. Much of our agricultural land that is either rocky, steeply sloped, or has inadequate soil fertility still produces grass that is well utilized for beef production. The production cycle of beef cattle typically ranges from 20 to 30 months in length. Animals may be moved once or more within their lifetime in order to have continued access to the most appropriate feed for each stage of growth and to be responsive to changing weather conditions. At the very beginning of the process is the seed stock producer. These farmers sell breeding stock to the commercial cow-calf operation, which then typically raises and sells weaned calves or yearlings. These animals are then most often sold to another producer who specializes in feeding cattle until they reach market weight. Canadian seed stock producers utilize statistical performance analysis and ultrasound assessment to develop our internationally recognized livestock genetics. Bulls are typically selected based on expected progeny differences, or EPDs, for characteristics such as growth potential of their calves and also for their fertility. Cows are selected for calving ease as well as milking and mothering ability. Canada raises more than 30 Bos Taurus breeds, and crossbreeding is used to combine the best characteristics of several breeds into one animal. Breeding cattle can be done naturally with a bull or through artificial insemination. After cows are bred, veterinarians check them for pregnancy. The gestation period is typically 283 days, or just over 9 months. Producers prefer each of the cows within a herd to calve within a few weeks of one another. This makes it easier to keep a close eye on the animals, and if there is any birthing problems, the farmer or veterinarian can step in to help. A short calving period means the cattle will reach market weight at approximately the same time, allowing the producer to sell a uniform group. As with most wild and domesticated grazing animals, beef calves are usually born in the spring. Calving is timed to coincide with the emerging spring grass so that the cow will have nutritious grass to eat, which helps produce an abundance of milk for her offspring. Once a calf is born, it is important to ensure that the newborn receives adequate amounts of good quality colostrum or first milk within the first 8 hours of life. Colostrum contains important proteins that help boost the newborn calf's immune system. When the farmer or rancher is satisfied that all the calves and cows are healthy, the animals are left on a pasture to be together. Most of the calf care is left to the mother. There are some interventions that the producer takes to ensure the health and safety of the herd. These include vaccinating the calves against diseases, castrating males to make them less aggressive and safer to work with, and dehorning to prevent the cattle from injuring one another as they grow. Veterinarians provide the producer with a vaccination protocol for the bulls, cows, calves, and yearlings, which is annually reviewed and updated as necessary based on disease risks. Just like humans, animals can get sick or hurt, so producers work with their veterinarians to learn how to diagnose and treat common diseases and injuries. Cattle that receive treatment are identified and documented, and their treatment response is monitored and recorded as well. Federal regulations in Canada require specific medication withdrawal periods prior to slaughter to ensure that beef is safe for consumers. Use of medications such as antibiotics require a prescription from a licensed veterinarian. It is also important for the cow-calf operation to keep accurate and up-to-date records of their breeding, pregnancy, and calving events. This information will help the farmer and their veterinarian to monitor the herd and potentially determine areas for improvement. Cattle are provided a balanced diet, and the availability and quality of feed is monitored to ensure the animals are receiving the nutrients they require. Cattle graze on grass as much as possible, with additional feed being supplied during the winter or when grass is scarce. This may include harvested forages and grains such as grass hay, barley, wheat, or corn. In winter, feed is often stockpiled in bales or silage bunks and is fed to the herd each day. Access to a source of water is provided at all times, and producers monitor weather conditions and provide bedding material and shelter from wind when required. Most cow-calf operations wean or remove their calves from their mother around 5 to 6 months of age. Prior to that, the animals are together on pasture, and the calf receives most of its nutrition from its mother's milk, and then eventually from grass as well. Canadian farmers and ranchers strive to make the weaning process as stress-free as possible, using industry best practices that prioritize animal health and welfare. Once the calves are weaned, they are ready to market. Most commercial cow-calf producers sell their animals via auction marts or online auction sales. After the auction, cattle will be transported to farms that specialize in backgrounding animals on forages for later sale, or directly to finishing operations that utilize grain-based diets formulated by an animal nutritionist. Some of the female calves may be kept in the herd to replace older cows for breeding, or may be sold to another producer to add to their herd. Almost all Canadian cow-calf farms and ranches are owned and operated by families. Their love for animals and the land has been passed on to the next generation and helps to make Canadian beef some of the best you will find in the world.
On behalf of Canada's cow-calf farms and ranches, I want to thank you for participating in this virtual tour. We hope you were able to learn something new about the quality and food safety systems that make it possible to produce premium quality grain-fed Canadian beef.